echoes and trace of the love we brave. And I can see your breath, but with your matches left, burn the rest of me to take. And embers in the air, light away back home. Can you take me there? Set us on fire. Set us on fire. Take me higher. Set us on fire. You've been cooling down, but I can feel you now. Bring the color into my face. You're catching on my skin, melting down to let you in.
Like a hair?
All the lights are clear.
No hair, don't care.
And embers in the air, light the way back home. Can you take me there and set us on fire? Set us on fire. Take me higher. Set us on fire. Keep it burning low. Whenever we're alone, whenever we're together, we just take it slow. I want every shade of the love you make. Will you take me home? Will you take me there?
I ask you please to be upstanding to greet and welcome our bride Charlotte together with the bridal party. Would all the guests please be seated? Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Andrew and Charlotte, I would like to welcome you all to Winter's Barns, which has been duly sanctioned according to law for the celebration of marriage. My name is Heather Nelson, and together with my colleague Estelle Short, it is our pleasure and our privilege to conduct your ceremony and to register your marriage for you today. You have all been invited here to celebrate with Andrew and Charlotte, to witness their marriage and the promises they will make to one another. Marriage is a commitment for life, in which people can find and bring out the best in each other. When two people promise to love and care for each other in marriage, they create a union unique to themselves, which binds them closer than any spoken or written word. The legal declarations and vows that Andrew and Charlotte make today will join their lives and is based on the love they share. I would now like to ask Simon, who is Andrew's father, to come forward. He has a reading that he would like to deliver in celebration of their marriage.
The Wedding, by that celebrated local poet, Shirley Grace Austin. This is such a glorious time, a bright new wedding day, full of happy memories in all our hearts to stay. For everyone who's gathered here, workmates, family and friends, Dru and Charlotte thank you for the joy that you all send. They have trod the path together in love and friendship too, hearts that beat in unison, faithful, good and true. So today we join together with happiness in our hearts and our wish for a bright new future. Let today just be the start. Here's to you, Dru and Charlotte. Love and laughter all the way. A beautiful new beginning. A beautiful wedding day.
Oh, that was lovely. A round of applause. Andrew and Charlotte, before you are joined in marriage, I have to remind you both of the solemn and binding character of the vows you're about to make. Marriage in this country is the union of two people voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. But more than this, marriage is also intended to provide the love, friendship, help and comfort that we all need in our lives. And so I must now ask, if there is any person present who knows of a lawful impediment why Andrew Francis Wakely and Charlotte Emily Austin may not be joined in matrimony, you should declare it now. Absolute silence. You've obviously invited all the right people. I would now like to invite forward Esther, who has also been asked to do a reading in honour of Andrew and Charlotte's marriage.
Friendship and love are intertwined. True love cannot exist without the solid foundation of friendship, without first liking a person. Both friendship and love can feel magical. Support from a good friend can make you feel like you are capable of anything. Laughing with a friend until you cry can even help mend a broken heart in a way you didn't know possible. Falling in love can fill your heart with a happiness you didn't even know you needed. Friendship means you can be your total self with a person. There is no obligation to put on a front or try to be perfect. And that's what real love amounts to. Being able to be completely yourself, feeling safe, feeling understood, and letting that other person be who they really are and loving them for it. Love is friendship caught fire. It's a magnetic connection and inexplicable chemistry. It is quiet, mutual confidence, sharing and trust. It is loyalty through good and bad times. It knows that a person can't be perfect and makes allowances for human fragility. Love is content with the present, hopes for the future, and does not dwell on the past. I think we can all see how beautiful a friendship Dru and Charlotte have. You couldn't find a happier couple. There is so much joy in their love for one another. I know they're going to have a lifetime of being best friends, filled with happiness and laughter.
Ladies and gentlemen, as guests of Andrew and Charlotte, it's lovely to see that they have actually written their own very personal promises to each other. So I'm just about to hand them. There's yours, and there's yours. And they will read their promises to each other.
Drew, I can't believe that I'm the one who gets to marry you today. You are the Verstappen to my Ricardo, the Stabler to my Benson, and the Ross to my Rachel. I promise to celebrate your joys with you and help you overcome problems as a team. I promise to never take you or your love for granted and to show you every day how much you mean to me. I will seek to bring you stability and comfort in this extremely chaotic world. I promise to always be your partner in crime, and I also promise to take the rap if we ever get caught. Whatever our lives bring, I promise to love and care for you with all of my heart and soul, always. Team Drew forever.
Charlotte, you are my best friend and my absolute everything in this world. I promise that I will love you with all my heart and soul forever. I promise to always be there for you, especially to ask stupid questions. I will always try my hardest to keep a smile on your face, and I always promise to be open with you. Whatever our lives bring, I promise to stand by you and be your teammate.
Well, how do I follow that? I have a script. I'm all right. The script promises that you are about to exchange serve as a declaration of the love that you have for each other, although those were lovely. It is not just the words that you speak today which will unite you, but the sense of love and devotion which is felt within your hearts. A good partner in a marriage will not only be loving and caring, but also a true friend. I'm going to ask you both a question. I hope your answer is we are. Andrew and Charlotte, are you both ready to make your commitment to each other?
We are.
You should go I'm going to ask you each question, and I hope your answer is I do. Andrew, do you take Charlotte to be your lawful wedded wife, and do you promise to respect and cherish her always?
I do.
Charlotte, do you take Andrew to be your lawful wedded husband, and do you promise to respect and cherish him always?
I do.
I'm going to ask you both to declare your freedom to marry, and then you will both exchange your marriage vows. I will ask you to repeat after me, and we'll start with you, Andrew. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Andrew Francis Wakely.
Why I, Andrew Francis Wakely.
May not be joined in matrimony.
May not be joined in matrimony.
To Charlotte Emily Austin.
To Charlotte Emily Austin.
I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Charlotte Emily Austin.
Why I, Charlotte Emily Austin.
May not be joined in matrimony.
May not be joined in matrimony.
To Andrew Francis Wakely.
To Andrew Francis Wakely.
The exchange of vows forms the heart of the marriage ceremony. Having declared that you are free to marry, the time has now come for you to exchange your marriage vows. And this is a very special moment, because as you say these words to each other, you will actually become husband and wife. His face. You are already holding hands, and that's a good sign. I will ask you to repeat after me, but you are saying these words to each other. You can still hold hands, and I will again start with you. I call upon.
I call upon.
These persons here present.
These persons here present.
To witness that I, Andrew Francis Wakely.
To witness that I, Andrew Francis Wakely.
Do take thee, Charlotte Emily Austin.
Do take thee, Charlotte Emily Austin.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
to be my lawful wedded wife.
And Charlotte. I call upon
these persons here present
to witness that I, Charlotte Emily Austin, do take thee, Andrew Francis Wakely, to be my lawful wedded husband. I just want to leave them like that. A wedding ring is an ancient and traditional way of sealing a marriage, as it is a circle with neither a beginning nor an end, and it is an outward sign to everyone of the promises that you have made here today. So please ask Tim and Ashley to step forward. Mind the dress.
That's a bad idea.
There we go. And Tim, if you would please give Andrew Charlotte's ring first. Thank you. And if you place that on the third finger of her left hand, but don't push it all the way on yet, hold her hand and say these words to her. Charlotte, I give you this ring.
Charlotte, I give you this ring
As a sign of our marriage.
as a sign of our marriage
And a symbol of my love.
and a symbol of my love.
It fits. Yes. And actually, if you would please give Charlotte Andrew's ring. And if you place that on the third finger of his left hand, but don't push it all the way on. Hold his hand, say these words to him. Andrew, I give you this ring. As a sign of our marriage. And a symbol of my love. There we go. Thank you, gentlemen. Andrew and Charlotte, may you always be able to confide in each other, support each other's hopes and dreams. And it says in the script, laugh with one another. I don't think you'll have a problem with that. From this moment, you have created an understanding between the two of you whom no one can break. And we all hope that your love, trust and understanding of each other will continue to bring you both contentment and joy in your life together and remain constant throughout the years. So Andrew and Charlotte, you've given your very own personal promises, your declarations and your vows to each other in front of everyone that you have gathered here with you today. I'm absolutely delighted to announce that you are now husband and wife!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think you will agree we have feasted extremely well. And at the risk of stealing my son's thunder, I would just like to thank Barbara for entertaining us so lavishly, and for the Austin family for taking our son off our hands. Well, we're now going to start the speeches, and it gives me enormous pleasure to hand over to the 6th Mrs. Wakely, our lovely Charlotte, to say a few words to us. Charlotte.
I know it's not particularly traditional for a bride to do a speech at her own wedding, but if I'm being honest, I just don't feel like there's been enough attention on me today, so can you just pay attention? Some of you may have noticed that just here there's an empty chair, and that empty chair is for my dad, who's not here because he passed away a few years ago now. And my mum refuses to use Tinder, so here we are. But for those of you who knew him, I don't really need to sort of explain, but for those of you who don't know him, just imagine a cross between Santa Claus and Liam Neeson in Taken. He was really silly, really fun, and also really generous, but also fiercely protective of his family and indulged in some high-speed car chases once in a while. But when I got that news about my dad, I didn't take it very well. Some of you may remember. It wasn't my finest hour. Didn't do very well at all. And for a long while after that, I genuinely thought that I would never be happy. I just thought, well, this is a thing that's happened and I will be sad forever. And I thought at the age of 24 that happiness would just forever elude me, and that was how it's going to be. I'd had my time, and it wasn't easy. But thank you for my E-team, Esther, Emma and Elena, for sticking with me through those pretty impossible times. Sorry for being like that. But he was a good man. He was my hero, he was my protector, and I was very lost without him. But exactly 2 years to the day after the day of his funeral, to the day, I walked into a bar somewhere in South East London and locked eyes with Mr. Dru Wedding. And I thought to myself, who's this guy? This little cheeky scamp who wears a beanie in a club? This guy. I liked him. And I really liked him. And in between me rinsing that free bar there and dancing to some 90s pop and starting a fight with a gun in the toilets, Elena will remember that. Great done. But we swapped numbers, and all my friends were like, Charlotte, please play it cool, like you're not cool, please, dear God, play this one cool. And I was like, guys, I've already texted him twice, since you've been talking, so I think it's fine. And I've never been cool, so why start now? But I knew by the end of that night that I wanted to be with him forever. That was pretty obvious. And then that became even more obvious when on our first date, he was faced with a questionnaire from my best friend Emma, with some questions that ranged from, do you like cats, to, why did you and your ex-girlfriend break up? He was completely nailing it, and that was great. And then shortly after that, I was introduced to the Wakely family, who, just to give you some comparison, on a Sunday morning often go to church, whereas the Austin family on a Sunday morning often woken up in prison cells for being drunk and disorderly. It's very much a Titanic situation. I'm Leonardo DiCaprio. But thankfully, Sai-Dai and Tim all showered me with love, care, kindness, and I'm very, very lucky to class you guys as family. I will always be an Austin at heart, obviously, but from today I'll be really, really proud to carry the Wakely name. So thank you for everything. I'm also very lucky to have my mum here and my nan. My nan can't hear what I'm saying, so. Hearing is so broken, but she's here, and that's what happened. So I'll write it down, I'll keep it for later. But these are two extremely beautiful, strong women, and they have shown me what a relationship can and should be. Sorry. Like both of them, sadly neither of their husbands are here anymore, but both of them were together for many years, 37th wedding anniversary this year for my mum. Both relationships were full of real companionship, and they were proper teams. And they just enjoyed life together. So thank you, Mum. Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Mum, and tell you later. For showing me a brilliant example of what a relationship should be, and showing me so much more love for my whole life, even when I've been a bit of a dickhead. Often. Cheers, mate. But Drew, you don't look at me. You have not only changed my life, but saved it. I don't think you'll ever understand the effect that you've had on me. You've made me not only happier than I've ever been, but shown me a happiness that I thought was unattainable. You've helped me to become the best version of myself. And I want to spend the rest of my life making you feel as happy and as contented and as loved as you make me. I'm not finished. I don't believe in God, don't hit me, but if there is one, what's happened is my dad's gone up there, kicked him off his cloud and sent you to me, because you're a gift, and I'm extremely lucky. My dad wasn't here to walk me up the aisle, and he won't be here for my first dance, so I want to thank each and every one of you in this room for being here for me today, and for us. At his eulogy at his funeral, I said that maybe one day I would meet my Prince Charming, but he would always be my king, and he is, and I have. And I think he'd be really proud of the man I've married today. Yes. I'd like you to join me in a toast, not only to my hunk of a husband, but to the memory of my dad as well. So, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Awkwardly, our speeches are pretty much independently the same. Oh, so sorry that you've got to sit through this again. Obviously, it's minus all the I love Drew part. Okay, this is a moment that I've been planning for long before Drew proposed, and I actually told Charlotte that I was giving a speech because I'd already written it in my head. I knew that Drew was a keeper after he answered my barrage of questions on their first date. Things such as, do you like tea? What is your opinion of Sprite as a hangover cure? How do you like your bacon cooked? And do you like Nick Helm? And how did you and your ex-girlfriend look? Well, I wasn't going to put that in the speech, but he passed with flying colours and answered them all. Drew came into Charlotte's life at precisely the right moment. After Lee died, it felt like the world was ending, and my heart broke watching my best friend wrestle with her grief. I remember the first time I heard Charlotte laugh again, and this is, the kind of laugh where her whole body lights up. And that was a moment when she was with Drew. Okay. Not that she was ever broken, but Drew makes Charlotte whole, as anyone who's spent time with them knows. Dru told me that he was going to propose because he wanted to know what her ring size was. And in hindsight, this is probably something we should have discussed. However, I did not know. I was so happy, and I told Dru what I know to be true, that Lee would have 100% approved of their marriage. I know that he's here in spirit, glowing with pride as he always was. I then kept their engagement top secret, as he told me to, and it turns out that pretty much everybody knew. 4 weeks, and I was the only one that kept it secret. It turned out to be a surprise for us all, though, because Dru popped the question early. This couple is everything that I would want for anyone in a relationship. They're not only partners, but they're best friends. Even when Charlotte is blind drunk like she was at her hen do, all she can think of is Dru. And I think it's protocol that at the hen do you're not supposed to let the bride talk to the groom. However, Charlotte dictated a message to me that I had to type to Dru. It was so beautiful that I would like to just quote it for you now. I have my makeup on, I have my makeup off, I'm fine, I'm having the best time. Which I can only assume means I love you, Dru. People say that as you get older, you lose your best friends to marriage, but in this case, I've not lost one at all. In fact, I've gained another. Thank you, Dru, for looking after my best friend. This is something that I promised that I would always do. Congratulations to you both. I love you.
That's me, isn't it?
Yes, you do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to hear from the groom.
Bloody wreck now. I'm probably going to be shaking like a leaf, so bear with me. During the countdown to the wedding, people kept asking me if I was nervous about the big day, and the truth be told, I really wasn't, because I'm marrying Charlotte, and it was a countdown to the happiest moment of my life. This part, however, is a very, very different story. I'd like to start by thanking you all for being here today and sharing this very special day with my wife and I. We've got people who've travelled over from Bath, from London, down from Manchester and Liverpool. Some of you have even made it all the way from Faversham. We're both so grateful that you've chosen to be here and celebrate our marriage, and we really can't thank you enough, although hopefully the free wine is helping. Unfortunately, there are 1 or 2 people that couldn't be here today, and they are sorely missed. One of those people I sadly never had the pleasure of meeting, nor did I have the absolute honour of asking the most important question in a father's life, his permission to marry his daughter. I've been told by his family that we would have got on and probably both sat there on a Sunday watching the Formula 1. Although I don't think I would have dared to sit there in my underpants like he did. I'm beyond grateful to have Barbara and Daniel's blessings to marry Charlotte, and I hope that all the Austins know that I will always do right by Lee's little girl. I'd like you all to join me in raising a glass to absent friends and family, but most importantly the father of the bride, to Lee Austin. It's at this point I feel it's only right to say a few words to Lee's wife and my mother-in-law, Barbara. You've made me feel so welcome into your family from the first time I came round, where you insisted on making me a cuppa, while I tried in vain to earn Kenneth's affection. For those of you who don't know, Kenneth is one of Barbara's cats. He was once found by himself eating a whole roast dinner by the side of the road, potatoes and all, and yet he'll look at you like you're the arsehole. Barbara, your generosity has never gone unnoticed. We are literally sat in a wedding venue of our dreams because of you, and I'm eternally grateful. Mum and Dad, or Diane Sy, to most of you guys, you are both the reason I stand here the man I am today. So I think I speak for everyone in the room when I ask, what the hell happened? But in all seriousness, the love and support you both continue to give me is amazing. Even though I once made a small joke about Dad running away with a Spanish cleaner and never coming back. Somehow you both saw the funny side of this, and for that I'll always love you. I'm so fortunate to have the upbringing that I've had and for everything that you've provided for me and Tim, and I know he'd agree as well. Your morals continue to inspire me, and because of this, I'll always be proud to be your son. You give me the opportunity to be a performer and follow my passions, and also sympathise when realising that academics really aren't my forte. I love you both, and I can't thank you enough either for what you put into this wedding as well. I think we can all agree just how beautiful the bridesmaids look today. But of course, none more beautiful than you, Charlotte. Esther, Emma and Elena, all three of you look stunning, and I'm so pleased that you were able to get Charlotte walking down the aisle, even though it wasn't on time. My boys, you guys have been amazing today as well. To have you all by my side and support me is really special, and it's been made even better that we're all suited and booted, surprisingly without hats for one. I have some incredible memories with each of you, and as a collective crew as well. Whether it's been on tour, making music together, getting drunk, but always behaving, or having an end-of-night freestyle session, which, if you're lucky enough, you might catch a glimpse of later, Mr. E. Of course, in particular, I'd like to thank my two best men, Tim and Ashley. Tim, I'm very lucky to have a big brother like you. Whilst you're not the most outspoken of people, your actions and generosity will always speak volumes. But like most brothers, there have been ups and downs. I guess it's not always easy being beaten up by your younger brother. But over time, you've learned to accept this, and for that, I respect you. Seriously though, you've always looked out for me, and you've always supported me, and that's amazing. Ashley, you're like a brother to me. Even though you called me dude for the first 2 weeks of our friendship because you didn't bother to learn my name. Our friendship has always remained strong. It survived some very heated FIFA matches and trips abroad where you got proper shitty because I got sun cream on your swimming shorts and you thought it would never come out. We've died laughing countless times at the smallest of things that have driven many of our friends crazy because to them it simply isn't funny. But for me and you, it's just been hilarious. You've always been there for me, and you know I've always got your back too. I also want to thank all my boys for such an epic stag, and particularly Tim for organising the majority of the weekend. And now I'd like to address my wife. Charlotte, I'm the luckiest man in the world, and there isn't a day that goes by when I don't feel grateful to have met you. You're the most beautiful, funny and kind-hearted person, and I'm honoured to now be called your husband. You literally took my breath away when I saw you walk towards me down the aisle, and Joe Setz was bang on the money when he said, "You're punching above your weight." You're my biggest supporter, and you always encourage me in whatever I do. You put up with me drumming on things, often your legs, and constantly asking me, "What do you think of this beat I made?" But most importantly, you put up with my silliness and my immaturities. I meant every single word of those vows, and I will love you with all my heart and soul forever. We're a team, and we always will be. Please join me in raising a glass one more time to my beautiful bride, Charlotte Wakely. Thank you.
Well, it's now time to hear from the two best men. But Tim, who has worked tirelessly behind the scenes for this wedding, including making the cakes, if you didn't know. Public speaking is not his forte, and he's put some words together that he's asked me to deliver on his behalf. So you've got to imagine that it's Tim saying these things. I take no responsibility. So he starts off, Well, it's hard to believe my little bro is sitting here married to this beautiful girl. My first sight of him was when he was in an incubator. Some of you may have heard this story. For some reason, he didn't think it was necessary to breathe after he was born, so he had to go into a premature baby unit at another hospital. But it was very easy to find him among all those tiny babies, as he was the one filling the whole incubator. When he was little, he used to love watching me build road layouts for his little cars, and I like to think he got his love of Formula One from when I marked out a racetrack for his pedal car on our patio.
That was sick.
The little cars were soon replaced with playing 007 on our Nintendo 64, which of course I used to win all the time.
Having a laugh on you.
Andrew was always up with the latest craze, whether it was Pogs or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And for a long time we convinced him that there was a fifth turtle called Pistachio. Later on it was the whole skateboarding thing. And who can forget how excited he was to meet the Power Rangers at the Benton Centre in Kingston. After the pink Power Ranger held his hand, I don't think he washed it for a week. Sadly, his love of alcohol became apparent early on. When, aged about 4, he went round the table one Christmas when we were all in the kitchen and finished off everybody's wine. When he was diagnosed as celiac and couldn't drink beer anymore, he effortlessly made the switch to cider and Jack Daniels, frequently together. Also apparent early on was his love of performing. Whenever he was in trouble, I can't believe this bit, whenever he was in trouble, he could defuse the situation by making Mum and Dad laugh so much they forgot to tell him off. Charlotte, don't fall for that. In fact, cheeky is the word that springs to mind, like when Mum used to insist on him wearing a helmet when he was going out on his bike. But he found it more convenient to leave it under our front hedge. He also cultivated the puppy dog look when he wanted something he couldn't have. Don't fall for that one either. Like Dad still does. Dru took part in various nursery and primary school productions before he got involved with Group 64 at Putney Arts Theatre, where he met rising theatrical star and my fellow best man, Ashley Gerlach. And later on, Steph Abingdon. And that, of course, led to such memorable and well-known bands as Icarus Burning, Click Click, Perfect People, before he, Steph, and Ashley Horn got together as The Midnight Beast. Not many people know he was quite a promising clarinet player. Or that he performed twice at the Albert Hall, once with the youth orchestra, once with TMB, when they were in a show for the Prince's Trust. Somehow Dru never quite shared Dad's and my love of long country walks, preferring to listen to obscure bands with names like Puddle of Mud. He was and still is a dedicated follower of fashion, at one point sporting a truly impressive Mohican in rainbow colours. Hard to believe. He also had one of his ears pierced as soon as he could, and of course got himself tattooed, which rather surprised us all because Dru hates needles. When he got his first job after school, it was in the garden centre at Homebase in Wimbledon, where I was also working. Tip that. They can only have kept him on for entertainment value. It certainly wasn't for his knowledge of plants or commitment to customer service. All he would do when asked a question by a customer a customer was recommend multi-purpose compass. And after a late night out, he would see nothing wrong in retiring to the stockroom for a refreshing nap. And if he was asked to do a job he didn't fancy, he would politely but firmly decline. However, it was there that he met the first in a succession of girlfriends, which involved regular requests for the loan of my car or my Oyster card. And then, of course, TMB took off and he actually had money of his own. Seriously, and again, you have to remember this is Tim's. Seriously, I am very lucky that we have stayed close and that Charlotte allows him the odd evening to play Super Mario Brothers, which I always win, or just hang out. Instead of losing a brother, I have gained a lovely sister-in-law, and you can always rely on me to come and look after Dr. Bird. I am so happy for you both and hope you have a long and happy life together. Mr. Gerlach, over to you, sir.
Okay, right. Hello, everyone. I don't know how I'm going to follow that. That was just beautiful wonderfully. This is going to be a car crash. So I'm just going to apologise now and say it's not my fault, it's Dru's. If anything. Okay, so I'm Ashley, I'm the best man. If you don't know me, I'm one of the friends in the friendship group. To give you some context, I'm the one who everyone worries about. I get too drunk or do something to offend someone or just make a really poor life choice. But don't blame me for this speech, as I said, blame Dru. I'm a bit nervous about this because, you know, I'm an actor, but I'm used to performing on stage, not in front of everyone that I know. So just bear with me, please. I'd like to start by saying it's an honour to be here. I was very touched to be asked to be best man, and I think Dru has made a brave decision, considering me and Charlotte haven't always seen eye to eye. We get on now, but I think at first I just found her a little abrasive, but you know, a little bit, you know, socially awkward. But today, you know, she's looking lovely. Her lovely blonde hair. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I wrote this speech in 2013. Different Charlotte.
I'll just get
Sorry. If you don't understand the context of that joke, just come and see me later and I'll explain. No, I would actually like to say it's an honour to be here as best man. I really couldn't be happier for these two brilliant people. I met Dru in a small drama group called Group 64 in Putney. I've recently moved to Southfields from Uxbridge in West London and had not yet found my friend who I had an immediate spark with. That all changed the moment I met this dude. In fact, I didn't really know his name for the first 2 weeks of knowing him, but I did go around his house about 8 times, but I just called him dude. It didn't matter what his name was, he was just a don. Our friendship group grew from that point, with the very talented Stefan Abingdon joining Group 64, and that friendship proved to be the most fruitful for him professionally. One of the many things I admire about Dru is his ability to adapt and be the best he can be. Despite leaving school with only a couple of GCSEs, he is one of the most successful friends I have. And he is an example of if you persevere and believe in your own talent, you can do anything you put your mind to. And I fully believe that. The calibre of work he has produced with Steph over the years, from Icarus Burning to The Midnight Beast with Ashley Horn, is just exceptional. So yeah, you should be really proud. Me and Dru pretty much grew up together with a shared love of comedy, music, drinking beer, and smoking cigarettes. Yep, you heard that correctly. Dru loved to drink beer. And as I'm sure people know, being a celiac, he just couldn't understand why he kept being sick from the age of about 14 to 16 whenever we went out. It didn't occur to him that drinking the wheat-based alcoholic beverage probably wasn't the best thing. And suffice to say, it made him very sick. And boy, was he sick. He was sick on a church while riding his BMX. He was sick in a B-day in Ibiza whilst pooing on the toilet. Steph can fill you in on that little trick of the story. Reuben revels in a story. At one party, he had to hold his hair back while he was being sick, and every time he retched, he farted. Comedy God. He soon learned his lesson though, and now he's on to cider. And whenever the Midnight Beasts are on tour, if he finds anything even resembling a lager in his rider, he'll be fired. Because he's a bit of a dick. It's been amazing growing up with Dru and having someone in my life who has the exact same sense of humour as me. He is just comedy gold. There are times when all I've got to do is look at Dru and he just makes me burst out laughing. We share a lot of the same interests. We're both in the same industry. We both went bald at the same time. Although I will say that Dru did hang on to his hair a little bit longer than was needed. He definitely had a comb over going on for a few years. But to be honest, I think he kept it just for me. He used to do this little routine when I used to live in a flat on the second floor where he'd pretend to fall down the stairs and his little wig used to be flat, and it was ever so funny. And I think he left it on just for me, really, which is lovely. He was comedy genius. And now look at him, he looks like a young or an older Jason Statham. It's all good. Like, we're all bald in our friendship group. You're bald. You're bald. Right. You're going bald. I'm bald. Is there something in the wind? Yeah. Dru is annoyingly talented. He's a fantastic drummer. He's got great comic timing. He's also a great actor. He's the type of guy that could turn his hand to anything. I fully believe that. He's never done theatre before, for example, but I'm sure he can smash it. We share an agent, and my agent is constantly saying Dru could be the next Nick Frost. Like he's so talented, it's unbelievable, and you need to know that dude. You're amazing, absolutely amazing. We've shared a lot of things over the years, and there are things that Dru knows about me that no one else does, and I can safely say I consider him a brother. He's just a good person. But it isn't surprising when you look at the family he comes from. Si, Di, and Tim are just amazing, and you've been a second family to me, and all the time spent together I've just absolutely loved, so thank you very much indeed. You can go to Dru with anything and he'll help you, whether it's a big thing or just to help you out with something small. For example, I didn't have a dad growing up, and when I had my first wisps of beard coming through, Dru taught me how to shave. He probably doesn't remember that, but he taught me how to shave. Like, that's the kind of guy he is. You can go to him with anything and he'll do it. That's just the type of guy he is. It comes as no surprise then that he decided to make Charlotte his wife. From the moment I met her, I thought, bloody hell mate, you're punching above your weight. Do not mess this up. I knew that she was the one for him. She's the perfect partner for him. She's hilariously funny, she's upbeat, she's helpful. It's amazing that I'd be more than happy to hang out with her without Dru around. Not many friends can say that about their friends' partners. I'd be happy to hang out with her anytime, and she's amazing. Where am I? Sorry. But you all know this anyway, so there's not much more I can say. On a personal note, I was going through a bit of a tough time last year. I'm not afraid to say that I had a little bit of therapy to get me through a bit of a tough time. The love and support that I received from both Dru and Charlotte was immeasurable. I couldn't put it into words, it was fantastic. But Charlotte particularly helped me with a few chats and a few pieces of fantastic advice. And she really was brilliant, and I'll never, ever, ever forget that. I'm not going to say my best friend got married today. My best friends got married today, and that is truly incredible. I love you both. Well done, and well done for doing this. And Dru, I am so proud of you, mate. So I would like to raise a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Wakely.
Mr. and Mrs. Wakely. Let's be upstairs.
Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. And they didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut